Welcome back to a new episode on the Crossbar channel. Today's video, we're going to react to the Champions League semi-final. Huge Derby Della Madonnina that was today. The match just ended. Inter Milan hosting AC Milan at the San Siro. Second leg. The game just ended. Like I said, Inter Milan won 2-0 in a away match. The first game, the first leg. And then today, Inter Milan defeated AC Milan 1-0 in the Champions League semi-final. So, without wasting any more time, let's roll. Alright, Inter Milan and AC Milan, the game is just ended 1-0 for the Nerazzurri. Inter Milan finally getting over the hump, beating their city rival AC Milan. Up until this point though, AC Milan had beaten every Italian opposition in the Champions League on that stage, whether it's Juve or Inter Milan. We've seen semi-final and finals against Italian club. AC Milan always won those head-to-head. But no more. The city rival, the Nerazzurri, Inter won 1-0. After beating them 2-0 on the away goal and then 1-0 at home, Giuseppe Meazza. So Inter goes to the final, going to face the winner of tomorrow between Man City and Real Madrid. And AC Milan going home. The season is pretty much, actually not over yet. They're still battling for the top 4 spot to get back to the Champions League. Because in the league, they're not top 4 yet. I think they're 5th in the league. Inter Milan is pretty much not certain to make it, but Inter Milan is right there with AC Milan in the league. So not just Inter Milan beating them in the Champions League, but also in the league setting, Inter Milan is above AC Milan. So that means pretty much a better season for the Nerazzurri than the Rossoneri this season, but it's not over yet in the domestic league. But nonetheless, Lautaro Martinez, the captain of the team, showed the way 1-0, scored the goal. What a great pass, holding play from Lukaku. Really, Lukaku came in from Dzeko and then, hold that play, and then pass the ball, and then, really in the first post, I don't know what Mike Mignon was thinking, where it's not really his fault. It was so much power, near post. By the time he got down, he can only touch the ball, and it was 1-0 for the Nerazzurri. At that point, it was over. Like I said, Inter won 2-0 in the first leg, so Milan had to score 3 goals to even hope to go to the extra time, and it was maybe like 18 minutes left. It was pretty much over at that time. But you can tell, I think Inter Milan had the better team anyways, the better squad anyways. Now, can you say that Inter Milan is a better manager? Who's better between Pioli and Simone Inzaghi? I'll say Simone Inzaghi is more proven, I guess, on this level, after getting the Lazio job, doing a great job with Lazio, now with Inter Milan. Now, it wasn't guaranteed he was going to do a better job. I remember when Simone Inzaghi came in, when Inter Milan fired Antonio Conte, Conte had done a great job with Inter Milan. He won the Scudetto, really, the year before. Like, that year won the Scudetto, and then the next year was just gone. So everybody thought that was a mistake by Inter Milan to let someone just win them the Scudetto after so many years without winning it. To bring in Simone Inzaghi from Lazio, people really didn't understand. But looks like Inter Milan board were visionaries. They saw something in Simone Inzaghi, and he's delivering. He's in the Champions League final. First Italian team in the Champions League final since Juve a long time ago. So, but yeah, Inzaghi did the job. His squad, like I say, Inter Milan. Now, with hindsight is always 2020. With hindsight, we can easily say when you look at the two teams, Inter Milan had the better squad. Like, from the starting 11 to the bench, I think Inter Milan had the better squad. If you look at it that way, you see even the starting 11 from Inter, Onana and Maignan, you can say they're equally good. Cancelled out, I guess I'm going to say, defensively, whether Matteo Diarmi and Acerbi and Bastoni, that's a great pair. A great triplet, I would say, of defender. Whether it's Dumfries today, the work he did on Leao today. Now, is it because Leao just came back from a groin injury? He wasn't at 100%. When we're going to give him the benefits of the doubt, I think Leao could have done better if he was at 100%. But first of all, he missed the first game. The loss, they got 2-0. His absence made it easy for Inter Milan to press AC Milan high up on the field. Because if you got the threat of Leao in the back, you're not going to press as high as you did. And today, they didn't press that high, really. They kind of they didn't sit back, but they went that high like they were in the first game. Because Leao wasn't there in the first game, so they were able to suffocate AC Milan in the midfield and not worry about anyone going behind them, because who's going to run them behind? Not Giroud. Giroud is slow. Benacer a little bit, and he also got injured, so he didn't play the second leg. So Benacer injured, Leao didn't play his first game, and it was not 100% this game. And Inter Milan playing all cylinder, really, to be honest. Dumfries did a pretty good job on Leao today, not giving him any space. He was literally chasing him all across the pitch. You can see Leao trying to switch, go to the left, play centrally. Dumfries was literally deserting his right spot to follow Leao. You can tell that was Inzaghi's instruction. Don't let him turn around, because if he turn around, he can dribble 1, 2, 3 players and he can go score a solo goal. So Dumfries, who was also very physical and also pacey, gave him the business today. It was not letting Leao turn around and face the goal. Also, my boy Lautaro Martinez, what a good way of ending the season. If you remember at the World Cup, he started with Leo Messi on the number 1 spot in the Argentinian attack. But as the World Cup progresses, it was more Julian Alvarez from Man City who kind of like replaced him, and Martinez ended up being the bench player in the World Cup, because Julian Alvarez was performing better than him. So I was kind of afraid that he would lose his spot, not just in Argentina, but also maybe in Inter Milan. But he's still the man in Inter Milan. He wear the captain armband. Now, there were some rumors last year or 2 years ago that he might join Barcelona. So it wasn't clear if he was going to stay at Inter Milan or if he was even going to be on the starting 11. But they don't. Anyways, he stayed in the starting 11, and he's still the captain armband, and he scored a fantastic goal today, near post, like I said. But I would say kudos to Nicolo Barella. Barella has to make it this season in the starting 11. I mean, which midfield really this season in the Champions League, which central midfield has performed better than Nicolo Barella? I don't see anyone. Personally, I'm probably going to do a video with my starting 11 so far, and definitely Barella has to be in it. I would say Barella, if I'm going to play on 4-3-3, Barella has to be in the team of the season. He's been fantastic for Inter Milan, defending and offensively. He's been pretty much everywhere, box to box. I think he's the only box to box midfield left. I would say Modric is not really box to box anymore, but he's more of a creator right now. And I would say Manchester City doesn't really have a box to box, because Gundogan as good as Gundogan and De Bruyne are. They're pretty much offensive player, and Rodri is the one that does the defensive business. So I'm going to say Nicolo Barella is one of the best midfielders this season. Definitely box to box, best midfielder box to box in the Champions League. And AC Milan, like I said, they didn't have any option in the offense besides Giroud and Leao. Junior Messi are even playing because Benacer was not there, and he had to compensate for him. But if you look at the bench, the bench tells you everything you need to know about the two squad. You look at the Inter Milan bench and also AC Milan bench. Look at AC Milan bench. The Catalari is really young. Now Salamanca could have played, but he can make some differences. But whether it's Cabia, Pobega, Origi, Florenzi, this is not a heavy attacking, or there's no actual midfield that can come in and make a difference in the midfield. I mean, Kalulu tried his best, but besides the pace, Kalulu is a defensive player. He's not going to make any change going forward. When you look at Inter Milan, though, bench, first you have Lukaku, great striker. Brozovic, if you need a regista, is going to be there. Whether D'Ambrosio is going to be there. Correa also could come in as a second striker. Gosen, left back. De Vrij, great defender. Sami Andanovic, in case the goalkeeper is out. Inter Milan had I'm going to say the best squad, because they were kind of 15 deep compared to AC Milan. With you see the bench is pretty much the young De Catalari and Salamanca. Really, Origi is not really, I guess, he's not really a difference maker at this point in his career. And you look at the starting 11. I mean, look across the pitch: Barella, Çalhanoğlu, and Mkhitaryan. You have a perfect midfielder with Barella box to box. Çalhanoğlu is really good quality, long passing, short passing, outside shooting. Same for Mkhitaryan. Mkhitaryan used to be a winger. He was a winger earlier in his career as Roma, if you remember. And then he was a right or left midfielder, now a central midfielder. So you still have the technique that goes with it, the vision that goes with it, the playmaking mainly that goes with it. Same for Çalhanoğlu. Çalhanoğlu was a winger / offensive midfielder, and now he's playing more centrally. So essentially, Inter Milan has 3 playmakers and a box-to-box in the midfield, and you add Dumfries and Di Marco on the wing. You got Bastoni, Acerbi, and Darmian, and Onana I think Inter Milan had the better squad. Like I say, hindsight is always 2020, but you can see for yourself when you present the two squad, Mark Mignon, besides Theo Hernandez and Leao, there's nobody that can run in behind in the AC Milan squad. I mean, that's going to be not Giroud, not Diaz, a little bit, not Coach, not Tonali does a fantastic job. He also, it's going to be hard to have Tonali and Barella in UEFA starting 11 just because you're going to have to insert whoever goes on the final between Man City and Real Madrid. Their midfielder is going to be heavily voted on the team of the season. But really, I would rather have Tonali, Barella, and maybe De Bruyne on my three. But yet again, you can't discount Modric. Kroos hasn't been fantastic this season in Champions League. Even Modric, really, he's done his job, but he hasn't been overwhelmingly fantastic. So usually the team that makes it to the final, they kind of get more player in the starting 11 or UEFA team of the season. Even though I don't necessarily like that. I think they should start seeing player of the season. I mean, the starting 11 from quarterfinal, semi-final, and final. But it just usually end up being a heavy squad of finalists and maybe one or two individual brilliance from the semi-final. But anyway, we see Edin Dzeko. He's on fire in the Champions League. The old man holding plays, doing the job, tiring the two defenders before Lukaku comes in with his pace. And Lukaku is also strong. And he has that left foot. So, shout out to Inter Milan. Really, we're going to see who's going to meet them in the final between Spanish club Real Madrid or English club Manchester City, as the game is tomorrow. Whichever makes it to the final is going to be favorite because Inter Milan is going to be underdog anyways. Or whoever's going to go between Milan and Inter is going to be underdog anyway. But Inter Milan is going to be underdog in the final. And so they're going to play with the house money. If they lose, they're pretty much supposed to. They're not like supposed to lose, but they're going to be the underdog. Whether it's Real Madrid, defending champs, or Man City, that look like an unbeatable team right now, Inter Milan is going to play with less pressure than either team that goes in the final. So maybe play with less pressure can free them and make them play even better than they're supposed to. But yeah, Inter Milan made it to the final. Kudos to Simone Inzaghi. He got the job when everybody criticized the move when they fired Antonio Conte. When Antonio Conte left, mutual agreement. People thought they should have done everything to keep Antonio Conte well. You can see even a coach that wins you the league can be replaced by another one who's building something, and now you're in the Champions League final. And so congratulations for Inter Milan. The city of Milan should be celebrating, but it's going to be split into the Rossoneri, the Tifosi from the Rossoneri are going to be crying, and the Nerazzurri supporters are going to be celebrating all throughout the week up until the final, really. If they win the final, it's going to be even crazier. And even if they don't win, they got the upper hand on the city rival, AC Milan. So let me know in the comment below what you think about the game. Which player do you think is your player of the match in this game? Particularly me, I'm going to say, now it's going to be easy to say Lautaro Martinez is the player of the game, player of the match, because not only he scored, he was a great leader on the pitch, but I really think Dumfries and Barella, they had a huge goal. Now, DiMarco was not at his best today for some reason, but I'm going to say it's either going to be Bastoni, also tried some nice stuff, or Nana also had some good save today. But if I'm going to pick one, except the obvious Lautaro Martinez, I'm going to pick Nicolo Barella, but also Dumfries for what he did on Leao, even though I think Leao was still injured for that groin injury, and he was now 100%. So where the Milan goes from there, can Milan go on a rebuild mode? Do they have the money to go on rebuild mode next season? Because they can't keep going with Olivier Giroud, he's like 37. They're not going to be with Ibrahimovic. There's some rumor going Ibrahimovic is going to Monza, which is another club like really not far from Milan, and that's owned by who? Berlusconi and his boy. Basically, the AC Milan former owner owns Monza, the president and the sporting director. So they have a good relationship with Ibrahimovic and a lot of old player from AC Milan. So I think I read some news that Ibra is already agreeing to go to Monza next year. But we see how it will transpire. But anyways, where can Milan go from now? They don't have the money to go on a full rebuild mode. Do they have the appeal of, hey, we're a contender in the Champions League? Is Milan really a contender in the Champions League next season? Or was this season just, an anomaly? We shall see in the future. We see what they do during the off-season, who they bring in, who they let go. I think Pioli is going to remain unless something major happen. I don't see them firing Pioli unless they have who's going to be the replacement. We see. We see what happened in the off season. But yeah, let me know in the comment below who you guys player of the match, and who thinks gonna make it to the final. City, Real Madrid, and who thinks gonna win the final. And I'll see you guys on the next one.